say, it's hello Facebook, hello YouTube. I was just saying to our friends on Instagram, a little bit different today. I'm coming to you live from a medical conference where I was actually the opening speaker this morning in Stratford-upon-Avon, a room full of female medics. It's women in medicine, and there's an amazing buzz. I'm actually in a little breakout area here, but there's a massive great conference with a big stage going on right next door to me. Very well timed because they've just taken a break for lunch. So I will have mine later because it enables me to come and do my Instagram live. I know the lighting is a little bit dodgy, but there we go. It's all about the content, isn't it? Not what we look like. Alison is just on her way to the airport. Well done. Menopause. Oh, Soph says, I've just been told by my GP that I'm too old for HRT. Is that true? No, it's not true. It depends, of course, on personal circumstance. My mum has gone back on HRT at the age of 80. So, yes, lots of information. If you want menopause-specific information, don't forget that there is a whole section on Earle Wellbeing under Healthy Menopause. There's also the brilliant free app, the Balance app, Balance Menopause, and a lot of GPs point their patients to that. And there's also the Menopause Charity, there's Menopause Doctor, there's lots and lots of resources, but you will find a lot, of course, on LizAllWellbeing.com, including some downloads. So there's an e-guide, for example, The Truth About HRT, one of my favourite downloads. And Rachel, hi, you're on Facebook for me today. Do you want to pop a link to that? So that's The Truth About Menopause. It's a download that you can get from Earle Wellbeing, and seriously good information, evidence-based information as always. But let us see whether we can get our great guest, Dr Federica Amati. She is basically I'm not sure whether she's the scientific or the medical advisor to Indi Supplements. Let's ask her. I've got her here, hopefully connecting. And we have done Instagram Lives, Facebook Lives together before. An absolute brilliant brain when it comes to talking about nutrition, especially in menopause. Hello, Dr. Fedi, how are you?
Hi, Liz. I'm so good. How are you?
Yeah, really nice to see you. So what's your correct title? Let's get that right first off.
I'm the chief scientist. So,
chief scientist.
Adam is our chief medical guy. He's an actual MD. So I have a PhD and I work in medical research. So
right.
I'm more of I'm a scientist as opposed to
and you,
an MD.
You connect with a lot of other researchers, most recently Professor Tim Spector, looking at the menopause affecting microbiome, metabolism, and that was really interesting new research. Can we start to take a look at that?
Yes, it is really exciting, and it's propelled me to talk way more about the menopause, which is so great because I think it's such an important topic, and it's something that now more research and more funding is going towards, so it's going to grow and grow in the next few years.
Well, I'm very pleased to hear that Tim's on board, actually. I've podcasted with him many times.
He did his PhD on the menopause, so he's actually one of the OGs that looked at it. And now Dr. Sarah Berry, who is the chief scientist at Zoe, she's now leading one of the largest trials looking at menopause, which
Can
is
you
so
just
exciting.
explain what OG means? Because I was called OG recently and I had to go and look it up. I'm thinking, is this a compliment or an insult?
Like, it means that you're like the original person, like you're... I can't remember the details.
I think, does it stand for original goat or old goat or something? Was there a goat connection?
GOAT is something else, though. I can't.
Oh, is it? Oh, that person's so goat. I mean, who can keep up with this stuff?
It means that, no, with abbreviations, but it basically means that
OG
you're one of
is
the original people.
The original. Yeah. Okay, so well, I'll take it as a compliment if somebody called me that then.
Yes, exactly. So Tim does have an interest, and he's really excited that Zoe is taking this research forward. And Dr. Sarah Berry's study is what we talked about at the event that we did previously, and it's been picked up by press, so it's getting more written about it, which is so exciting.
Original Guru, apparently it stands for. I'm being told.
There you go. I like that. That's a nice one.
We'll take that one. So what was the study, and what were the findings?
So there's sort of two studies. The first one was on Predict-1, which is the biggest clinical nutrition study to date, and it looked at 1,000 people, and basically what it did is it fed those 1,000 people the same meal in form of a muffin. So it's very similar to what Zoe participants do now if they buy the Zoe kit. they have this meal and then they measure the postprandial, which means post-eating response, looking at how their blood glucose rises, how their blood lipids rise, and basically looking at also their microbiome composition to see what bacteria, what microbes are living in our gut. And are these bugs associated with inflammation? Are they associated with obesity? Or what kind of bugs do we have in our gut?
Right.
So when this data was looked at, one of the groups that stood out as having worse outcomes really is postmenopausal women. So the question was, what are these associations? What were the key findings in this first study? And really it was this obvious change that they had an increased inflammation and blood sugar response after eating this set meal. So,
and that's due to the decline in estrogen, is it, that's influencing the gut bugs?
Exactly. So basically, the big question, which no one had really answered, although we know the answer really, but no one had done it scientifically, was, are these changes due to age, or are they actually due to the menopause? And now we have scientific evidence because these women are age-matched. So we know that a woman of the same age who is premenopausal will have a different metabolic response to a woman of the same age who is postmenopausal. So this is really empowering because people can now say, this isn't to do with imagining it. Sorry, my screen's just going funny. Imagining it or not sure, is it just age? Am I just moaning? Absolutely not. It's a true physiological change that leads to real metabolic consequences.
So the lowering of the estrogen, how would that then be affecting our gut microbiome, which in turn then affects so many other things?
So the precise mechanisms of action and also the direction of the association, we don't know that yet. So the next study that's happening now is a PREDICT-3 study. There's over 25,000 women in that. So it's much bigger, and we're going to be able to look more closely at answering some of these questions. So what exactly is the estrogen doing? Are the microbes changing before the estrogen changes, or are they changing because of the estrogen changing? Which is a really interesting question, because you can imagine if our microbiome could be supporting our estrogen levels, then we could possibly modulate that.
Yes.
Or if it is the estrogen change that's impacting the microbiome change, what can we do to make that impact less harmful for our microbiome?
Yeah.
Because, of course, with this change in glucose metabolism, change in inflammation, we also see a change in body fat percentage, body composition.
And it's a fact of life, isn't it? Middle-age spread, we've talked about this before. We put on weight around the middle.
Right. But this associated sort of exactly that middle fat is associated with heart disease and other type 2 diabetes. So, but it's funny because actually the second part of the research addresses more, what can we do about it? Is it inevitable? Do we have to just accept that?
No,
is it something that just happens? No, it's not. So it's not just, oh, well, sorry, you're menopausal, bye.
Yeah, bad luck.
That is not the...
So what can we do then? What practical steps? Now we've got this information, which many of us kind of intuitively knew, but now we're getting some science behind it. What can we do about it?
So the second part of the study, now this data, sort of Sarah and I have crunched it and we're very excited, but it's yet to be published. So it's
we have a scoop.
Brand new,
How exciting.
So you remember the Zoe COVID app? And that's now become the Zoe Health app. And through that, we have these amazing citizen scientists who give Zoe loads of data that we can crunch to find answers.
Brilliant.
So one of those that we did was looking at the menopause. And we said, okay, women who are premenopausal compared with women who are perimenopausal compared with women who are postmenopausal. So again, we had this wonderful opportunity to actually age match people. So we could say, okay, this is a woman in her 40s who is, at this stage of the menopause. And we even had men in the sample. So we could say whether it's associated with estrogen. So it's definitely not an age thing. It's definitely, really, really good. It's quite hard to do that because such little research is funded to look at women.
But isn't that amazing? Isn't that an amazing kind of public health community that people can log in and answer these really simple questions, which leads to such great information and data? It's such a powerful tool. I mean, the amount of people that contribute on these studies, if you tried to get them in a clinical trial, it would take decades. Yes.
So So
yeah, you can
really
you can do it, and then you can just press a button and go, okay, in the last 4 weeks, this is what we found.
It's really good. So this study was really interesting because essentially Sarah's team looked at a dietary questionnaire, quite detailed dietary questionnaire, and made a dietary score, which indicates how good your diet was. Now, you know, what they use as a metric for a good diet is how many whole plants are you eating in your daily diet. And they use this healthy plant index. And when you compared the women across the symptoms and across different stages of the menopause, there was a really strong association between the women who had higher plant index and less symptoms. Now, what was really interesting about this is that this happened even without HRT. So even in the women who didn't take HRT, they had better outcomes. And even in those women who are metabolically less healthy. So we know from the first study that if you have obesity, you're much more likely to suffer with symptoms. Yeah. And ironically, you're also more likely to put more weight on. So it's really
being overweight is a double whammy, isn't it? It makes your symptoms worse, and you tend to put on more weight, even more weight. So it's really important to be a healthy weight.
It is, but what's really nice about this second part of the study is that it showed that even if you are overweight, having high plant index diet helps with the symptoms by a statistical margin. So now, again, we don't know is it causal or is it associative. So we have this association question. We always have this in science. But what we can say is that we're fairly excited that there's such strong associations between having more plants in your diet and having better experience with the perimenopause. So, you know, what was really startling is that when we asked about sleep problems in the menopause, 80% of women have sleep disturbance.
Well, that was what got me onto estrogen, was because it was my sleep that was going, and I'm never going to not take it. I mean, I shall take it till my dying day. And I can see some of the comments coming in here saying, I'm too old at 66. It's such a shame that your doctor is telling you that, because that is simply not the case. But we will do a whole other focus. And if you've got menopausal questions, I can see them coming in. Please go and have a look at some of the resources on Earle Wellbeing, because there's loads of free stuff that you can download and lots of podcasts that I've recorded. It's really, really important. So coming back to having more plants in the diet, so that's not necessarily being purely plant-based. You don't have to go vegan. It's about having more of these, particularly these lovely colourful plants. So it's adding more good stuff in, isn't it, alongside your, meat and fish and eggs and all the rest of it.
100%. You're completely right. I think a vegan diet, it's not about a diet. So it's not about the vegan diet or the paleo diet or the keto diet.
Have a few more colourful plants and polyphenols and the plant, the plant foods and the plant supplements, which I know Indi are so brilliant at. I've actually got my Indi powders with me. Well, this is the one that I've got, because I knew that we'd be talking. I've got Indi Mind. When I need to be sharp. So I was giving a keynote speech this morning, first thing. I'm not a morning person, and I've proved that genetically. I'm a night owl. So, when they say, OK, Liz, so you're opening it just before 9, it's like, right, thanks. I'd rather be the closing speaker. But anyway, so this has come with me. And because I'm travelling, I brought with me a little empty jam jar. This will make you laugh.
Oh, that's so cute.
And I got them to give me some milk from the bar. And I've just put my scoop in, and now I'm going to drink it. And I just love it. I gave it to Kit when he was revising for his A-levels, and now he doesn't want to stop taking it, even though he's, back at uni, because it's got all these lovely, colourful things in. So is this the kind of thing that we should be talking about then?
Yeah, so Indi Mind is brilliant because it's so polyphenol rich. So it's got these colourful chemicals that make our plants colourful are called polyphenols. Yeah. Yes. And so back in the 90s, we used to call them antioxidants. It's not really a term that's used very much in science anymore because they do so much more than just reduce oxidation. And it's these colourful polyphenols that there's so many of in mind that are really helpful for us.
So you've got things, in fact, this week, I put a post on my personal Instagram yesterday about blue and blueberries and anthocyanins and hascat berry and all of that. And here, look, you've actually got hascat berry in here, along with beetroot and lion's mane, cocoa. Good for the brain.
Cocoa. Yes, because it's so high in flavanol. Yes, and it's high in nitrate, so it helps with circulation. It helps with concentration, but it's such a good source of polyphenols. Dark chocolate, right? So this is very high flavanol content cacao. I wouldn't recommend going for the Cadbury Dairy Milk, but
because of all the sugars, and that's what we've just been saying. Actually, let's get the sugars down. But you've got in here, you've got tyrosine, magnesium, coenzyme Q10, guarana, lion's mane, mushroom, Bacopa monnieri, which I don't know, and Rhodiola rosea, which I know is an adaptogenic herb.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. So they're all the ingredients for mind are really designed to help potentiate your mental capacity. I always take it before I've got to write a big piece. I absolutely love mine.
Really? I am definitely healthily addicted to this stuff. When I'm working especially, or just need to think, or need a bit of brain space.
It's nice because I love coffee too, but when I need to concentrate but I don't want to have that buzz that coffee gives you, the guarana gives you just enough caffeine to wake up a little bit, and the polyphenols and the cacao just give you that mental focus, which I love. So yes, mind is a really good one. I have to sing the phrases of body, right? Because Indi Body is the one that has the high fibre.
Okay. Now I have the body one here as well. Where is the body one? Oh, and I love this. I actually brought the whole box to show you.
Okay.
But what's particularly good about body is that it's a box of these little sachets.
Single serve, yes.
So,
really
if I was coming up here and not doing a live, I would have literally just packed one sachet with me, knowing
Thank you for packing the box. That's really kind.
I wanted to show it because it just looks so great, and you can see everything on it, and I just wanted to show how it comes.
Yes, it is really nice. I love the pack.
So what's this got in it, and why is this so good then, obviously in relation to the study that's just come out about the fibre and the menopause, menopause?
So there's two things that are great about body specifically. The first one is that it's ground up whole plants, right? So you have, if you're trying to increase the amount of plants in your diet, and listen, I always say it's great to add plants to your plate, make sure you add more plants to your meals, but when you're travelling, when you're moving around, when you have a hectic lifestyle, you have to...
I mean, they've saved me a bit of lunch, and I've seen it, and it's a bit of pizza.
Okay.
I'm thinking, well, that's okay, but, I quite like to have something plant-based, and I'm going to have this with it.
So this is a really good way. I always have one in my bag. I have a sachet of Indi Body, and I have my trail mix wherever I go, because then I know I'm covered. I've got some good protein, some good fibre, and Indi Body, and this offers 12 different plant types in a really I think it tastes absolutely delicious powder. It has high fibre. It has more than 5 grams in a sachet. So going back to your metabolic health question, we know that postmenopausal women have poorer glucose metabolism. So, for example, Liz, you're about to have a pizza for lunch, which is not ideal. But if you had your Indi Body before it, you would have all that beneficial fibre going into your gut before the pizza, before the carbohydrates go in, and before it all gets absorbed in your small intestine into glucose. So having that fibre before we have our starches...
I will have that. I will mix this before my slice of pizza.
Yes. So then when you can have your pizza, but by the time the starch from your pizza arrives to your small intestine, which is where it's absorbed, the fibres in the Indi Body will have created a lovely coating along your small intestine, which means that you just absorb less of the glucose.
That is such a great hack.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Such a great hack. And I'm also getting, way more than my 5 a day, because in this one, in the body, we've got hibiscus, purple carrot, so lovely, you're eating the rainbow here, Hascat berry, again another favourite, acai berry, blueberry, B vitamin complex, biocultures, gluten-free oats, chicory root, inulin, which is your lovely fibre, isn't it?
Yeah.
Vitamin D, baobab, turmeric and black pepper, maca, reishi mushroom and moringa.
You get so much in one bag.
So much. That is
talking about
the value is astonishing.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. And talking about tiredness and energy as well, the B complex is so helpful for that. And a lot of women can sometimes lack B vitamins in their diet, so having that in the supplement really helps with your energy too.
And no contraindications. Again, we're talking about food supplements. Yeah. We're not talking about medicines.
So
we're talking about eating foods.
I have had a client in my clinic who came in and had extremely high B vitamin, B12. It was through the roof.
Wow.
She was taking too many supplements. So there is such a thing as too much.
Yeah.
Indi Body covers a lot of bases. So it's really great. And in taking Indi Body, you can take that with Indi Mind at the same time.
Good, because I've got both. I've just had my Indi Mind, and I'm now going to be having my Indi Body. But I want, I want to have a healthy mind and body. And I'm travelling. I was up early. I'm going to be travelling back tonight. I'm going to be working late tonight. You know, life is full at the moment, and I do feel that I need a little bit of extra support.
Yes,
to be really frank.
This really offers. You can bring it with you, and it's so helpful. And then, as you know, Liz, I don't know if you use the tone formulation.
Yes.
The body tone.
And I have.
What
have I got here?
Because it's high quality
actually,
protein.
I don't have tone with me. I have Build, but the Build.
Oh, okay. So Build is the higher protein, but I love tone.
Build is protein.
More fibre in it.
Oh, does it?
But it really depends on the level of exercise you're doing. So if you're somebody who is weight training, the tone does have more protein in it.
Yeah. So what's the difference then between the Build and the tone? I've got the Build here.
Tone is slightly less protein.
Okay.
Still, I can't remember. I think it's 8 grams in the tone and 12 in the body. But
there's a lot of protein in the Build. I know because I was talking actually to Zana Morris just yesterday about the importance of protein, and particularly as we age and as women we're losing muscle mass. Oh my goodness, terrifying statistics on how much muscle we lose after the age of 30.
How little women focus on it as well. It's like it's
nobody's ever told me I'm going to lose half a pound of muscle mass every year after the age of 30 or so.
I know. I mean,
unless I do something about it.
The numbers are yes, but you can do something. Exactly. The numbers are scary, but training and having sufficient high quality protein in your diet does help a lot. Yeah. And there's really nice studies to show that actually, if you supplement with protein, and I love Tone and Build because they are vegan and there are no emulsifiers, there are no bulking agents. It's really hard to find that in a protein supplement. Yeah. Protein supplements come with all sorts of weird additions that aren't beneficial for our microbiome. So what's really nice about their protein is that you are having something that is still plant-based and will be beneficial. Tone has slightly more fibre in it, and it has green tea catechins. So if you're someone
good for weight loss.
Exactly. Yeah. Looking to reduce your fat, change your body composition a bit. I find that one's a good one to take.
Tone. Okay, so let's just we need to do some logistics here because everybody's asking them about these.
Sorry.
Okay, so if you want to go to the website and check it out, I know there's a link on Facebook for all our friends on Instagram. It's Indi Supplements, isn't it? .co.uk.
Yeah.
There is a Liz Loves, so you can get your discount, obviously, which is really good. What are the ones that you would recommend? Because the majority of our audience here are perimenopausal, menopausal or postmenopausal women. That's the majority of our audience. So what would you suggest? I mean, for me, it would be the body and the mind.
Yes. So
if you've never tried these before, these are the two that I would start with, mind and body.
Yes. I think it depends on you as an individual, but generally speaking, I think the body, I find it hard not to recommend it because it's just such an excellent supplement for everybody. So that for sure. If you're somebody who struggles with energy and has a job or a life that requires a lot of focus, mind is really good. If you're somebody who's training, trying to maintain muscle mass and maybe doesn't eat that much protein, maybe you're vegetarian, maybe you just don't love meat or you don't eat a lot of animal products, a Tone or a Build could be really helpful to maintain that muscle mass.
Yeah.
And then there's rest, of course, if you're somebody who has real difficulty sleeping, because we know that's a real problem. The rest drops. The only contraindication is if you're taking SSRIs, a type of antidepressant, you cannot take it because it contains 5-HTP, tryptophan. So unless you're on those, you can't take it. But if you're looking for something that can help you sleep and reduces cortisol levels, then the rest dropper is absolutely amazing. It's a godsend. I don't know, it's a magical combination.
Sleep drops, I think, have been so incredibly helpful. And just to reiterate, if you are on HRT, this is not it's not contraindicated. You're not going to have any issues. What about if you're already taking some vitamins and some supplements along the way?
Yes, I think so. It's not a secret that I'm not massively pro supplements. Indi is, for me, the one with the difference. Now, supplements are useful if you're known to be deficient in something. So if you have blood tests and you know that you're vitamin D deficient, do take vitamin D. If you have your blood test and you know that you're deficient in some other mineral or nutrient, then it's important to supplement with supplements first, and then hopefully get there with your diet as well. So that you don't have to take supplements for life. But certainly taking too many supplements can lead to too much, which is harmful. It can also lead to very expensive urine, which is a problem because people spend so much money. So really just if you can consult with somebody who's a nutritionist or a dietitian, somebody who understands that sort of thing, and speak to them and say, do I need to take all this? It's very quick and easy to say, keep this, don't take this, don't take this. If you're somebody who has no specific deficiencies and is in good health and wants to just give their diet a boost with plants, then for me, Indi Body wins, hands down, really. And I personally don't supplement with anything more. The exception to this rule is pregnancy, which is a different topic. So folate and omega-3 supplementation in pregnancy has been shown to have beneficial outcomes, of course. So it's important to do that.
And, if anybody's interested, I do have actually on Earle Wellbeing on the website a list of all the things that I take, because I am a fan as I age. I know that I'm not producing the same amount of collagen, my vitamin D levels. I know I don't absorb it very well. I do need my omega-3s for fish oils, my DHA, my EPA. So, I do have a list. But I think, and it's also, it depends on you, on your stress levels. It depends what your diet is like, and if you are managing to cook from scratch every day with, 3 good meals and lots of healthy green veg and all of that, then, and have all your probiotics. Presumably you're a big fan of probiotics as well?
I'm a big fan of probiotic foods.
Yes, so like fermented foods.
Yes, fermented foods. But probiotics actually in situations where they're needed are so helpful. So I use them a lot, for example, with people who have taking antibiotics, people who have difficult diarrhea, or travellers, if they've been abroad and they have issues. They have real use. They're really useful in children and for eczema, asthma. So there's lots of applications of actual probiotic combinations that can help. But the issue with probiotics, of course, is that you have to take them every day, because as soon as they get to your gut, if you don't have the right matrix for them to live in, they go in, they do their bit for a bit, for like a day, and then they die because they don't have a house. Right. So,
which is why feeding them is so important. And we've talked before, with things like Bimuno and galacto-oligosaccharides and all of those kinds of things. But giving them the little bits of fibre.
Exactly. So if you have the right diet to support them, and actually Indi Body has lactobacillus in it, which is one of the most widely known beneficial strains. So it's technically a probiotic itself.
Does it?
But probiotic foods, fermented foods, they come packed with the actual microbe, the fibre it needs, and all of the postbiotic chemicals it's produced in the fermentation process in one neat package.
Wow.
So it's actually, sauerkraut is a powerhouse of...
Love a bit of sauerkraut.
Probiotic wellness. Kefir and all these probiotic foods. There's so many now.
Yes.
And they are
kombucha
so beneficial.
And Oh, honestly, it's so lovely to talk to you again, and it's just so great that so much research is now happening in these areas that just bring to life really simple strategies that can just create this feeling of wellness, so that we can go on and live better longer, which is kind of what it's all about, really, isn't it?
Yes, and just have this research which is actually focused on what can we do. So let's find out the differences. Let's find out what the real change is, and then let's actually create science that addresses these issues for real people. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and we can help people in real life, as well as talk about it at a conference and present brilliant papers and all of that. But make it practical and accessible for everyone. So thank you for having me, Liz, because this is one of the ways in which we do it.
Oh, well, it's a real pleasure. And I'm just saying on your pack, actually, it's indisupplements.com. And there is an email, which is hello@indisupplements.com. So if people have got specific questions or medical concerns, could they email?
Yes, of course. So if you email that, Helen and Chris, the founders, who are brilliant, they can always send it to myself or Adam, Dr. Adam Carey.
Fantastic.
And ask for our feedback on sort of what would we say.
That's great to know. We love that. We love that. And we also love the Liz Loves. So Liz Loves gives you 15% off everything at indisupplements.com.
Which is really good. Yeah.
It's very good. I should be stocking up, especially after now I know that all the benefits, and I can take the two together, the mind and the body. So thank you for that.
Yes, and ahead of cold and winter, flu-y season, supporting your gut microbiome is one of the best ways to support your immune health.
Your immune system.
Of our immunity.
So much. Stronger immune systems, that's what we're all going to need this winter, for sure.
We will all need it. And do it before your flu jab so you have a better response, and then you can...
Really great to chat to you. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Have a lovely day.
Bye-bye. Thank
Bye.
you. Yeah, you're going to have to click off, my lovely, otherwise I'm going to take everybody off. Fascinating, don't you think? And that's what I love about so many of these supplements and these additional, foods that we're talking about, is that we're adding them in. We're not saying, oh, you must stop that, you mustn't do that anymore. It's about actually, let's make our lives work better so we can look forward to, a better second half, particularly for those of us who are, menopausal or perimenopausal. Just to say, I think actually relating to that, lots of you loved the live that I did with the female founder for Jude. So Jude, this is bladder support, obviously a key issue, key area of concern for so many perimenopause and menopausal women. So they have the little Jude supplements that you can take, and again, clinically proven to help reduce the need to wee quite so often. Really useful during the day, during the night especially. And then they have these amazing pads made of bamboo. Really super soft, comfy, really, really good. So check them out if you haven't already. I know lots of you have been getting great results already with Jude. So I'd love to hear your feedback. So please drop me a comment and let me know. So you can find them at wearejude.com. and 15% off with Liz Loves. So if you want to use that, and I know Rachel will pop a link on Facebook. The other things, just to say, last chance, anybody going away or struggling with mosquito bites or midges, al fresco, absolutely love it. In fact, I've continued to use, these are some of my little al fresco things that I brought with me. This is the one that I particularly love, which is called Planet. It's such a great scent, and it's clinically proven to keep the biting critters away. And it was tested at the Hospital for Tropical Diseases in London, and they had brave volunteers spraying themselves, some with a placebo and some spraying them with al fresco, and then sticking their arm in a box full of mosquitoes. Can you imagine? I can imagine nothing worse, actually, and really showing that they don't, the bitey critters don't bite, and I know that from personal experience. I love the scent. And they do these little travel bottles. So if you are having some winter sun, or perhaps travelling away, or maybe you're watching further afield, or you've got a half-term break coming up or whatever, don't forget the al fresco shop, because 20% off, but that does run out at the end of the month, so 30th of September. So it was very much a seasonal thing for the summer, and we're very grateful, al fresco. Thank you. We do absolutely love your things. Before I go, newsletter, I hope you're signed up to it. Today, if you're watching me in real time, is a Thursday. Our newsletter always goes out on a Friday. It's tea time on Friday, around 4 o'clock. Amy, who's the editor, pushes the button, and we've jam-packed it with great things. I'm just signing off the current one that's going out tomorrow. It's got links to podcasts, to recipes, to ideas for the weekend, to bits of research, interesting little snippets. But you've got to be on the list to get it. So if you'd like it, it's completely free, and we don't spam you, we don't sell your data or do anything nasty like that. It's just a free resource for our community to share kind of the things that we're doing. So just head over to the website and you can click to sign up. If you don't like it, you can just cancel, and that's absolutely fine. I won't be offended, but I'm not sure that many people do, which is good. And lastly, those of you who've got the current magazine will see that there is a 30% off, amazing, on the Neroli Necklace, which I'm wearing here, of course, because I've got a nice V-neck. This is one of my favourite dresses, actually, from me and Em. It's about 2 seasons ago, so I don't know if it's current at the moment, but I just love the colour, and actually I kind of blend in with the background. I thought, being a speaker, I should wear something kind of a bit bold, and of course I've got my Neroli on here as well, and at least 2 of the doctors stopped me during the coffee break to say hi, and they said, oh, we recognise your Neroli necklace, and it's a bit of a kind of a girls' club thing, my Neroli. Anyway, I am going to go now because I'm getting back to this conference and amazing speakers this afternoon. I will pop stuff on my Liz Earle Me Instagram. I'm sorry I don't have a personal Facebook, but I will do some little behind the scenes and some stories and things, so if you want to see what's going on. And next month is, of course, International Menopause Day, and so I'm gathering together some interviews and some research with many of the medics here that I can share throughout the month of October. So I hope you've enjoyed today. Thanks for being with me this week. It's been great to do 3 lives Supplements, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Next week we're back to our usual 2. I'll be back with you on Tuesday, one of our favourite guests, the fab female founder Grace Fordor, talking about autumn makeup and cosmetic colours. So a bit of a change. We do like to mix it all up. What goes on, what goes in, what goes around, all of that. Anyway, have a lovely weekend if we don't connect before, and I'll see you next week. But enjoy the newsletter. Meantime, tomorrow, look out for it in your inbox. Bye-bye.